Humanity had once called Earth their only home. It was the place where their history began, where rivers, mountains, and skies carried the story of their rise. But centuries ago, when alien invaders came with overwhelming fleets, Earth was taken. The humans fought bravely, yet their weapons were weak compared to the firepower of the conquerors. The war lasted only a short time before humanity was forced to flee. They left in scattered ships, carrying children, memories, and a promise. One day they would return. Generations passed among the stars. The children of exile grew up hearing stories of Earth told like sacred myths. Parents spoke of oceans stretching beyond the horizon, forests filled with life, and skies painted with blue. To the young, Earth was not just a planet, it was a dream. But the elders carried another memory too, the memory of loss, the humiliation of defeat, the vow of revenge. In hidden colonies across distant systems, humanity rebuilt. At first, they were weak and small, surviving on scraps of technology, but time shaped them, and suffering turned into strength. They studied the alien empires that once crushed them, learning their secrets, stealing their knowledge. Human engineers created machines that surpassed the very enemies who had once enslaved them. Every decade, the fleets of humanity grew larger, stronger, faster, and with every passing year, the dream of returning to Earth burned brighter. Commanders told their cadets a simple truth. Humanity was not meant to wander forever. The stars could give them shelter, but only Earth could give them identity. And when the time came, no force in the galaxy would stop them. Now the time had come. At the edge of the Sol system, a massive fleet drifted silently in the darkness. It was not like the scattered refugee ships of old. These were warships, colossal in size, forged from steel, fire, and determination. Their hulls carried the scars of battles fought across 100 systems, but their engines hummed with power that no alien fleet could match. At the heart of the fleet stood the flagship, the Resolute. Its commander, Admiral Kalen, gazed at Earth's distant light with eyes that burned like embers. He was a man born in exile, raised with stories of the homeworld he had never touched, and now he carried the burden of leading humanity back. The fleet stood ready under his command. Millions of soldiers, thousands of ships, all united by one purpose. For a moment, silence ruled the bridge. Crew members stared at the blue sphere shining far away. Some wept quietly, others clenched their fists. They had trained for war, but the sight of Earth stirred something deeper. Love, loss, and longing. Admiral Kalen spoke only one line, a whisper that carried through the ship. "We are going home." But Earth was not free. Alien banners still floated in orbit, and alien cities covered its surface. The invaders had ruled Earth for centuries, raising new generations who believed humans were gone forever. The galaxy thought humanity had been broken, scattered, erased. But the galaxy was wrong. Humanity had been waiting, watching, and preparing. The fleet did not rush. They moved carefully, using stealth technology unknown to alien empires. Like shadows, they slid past asteroid fields, weaving silently closer to the heart of the system. Patrol ships from the alien overlords passed nearby but noticed nothing. To them, humanity was a dead threat, a ghost of history. They could not imagine that in the darkness an armada was preparing to strike. Every officer knew what was at stake. This was not only about reclaiming a planet, it was about reclaiming dignity, reclaiming the right to exist without chains. If they failed, humanity would vanish forever. If they succeeded, Earth would once again be the beating heart of mankind. Whispers spread across the fleet. Young soldiers asked their elders what Earth smelled like, what its rain felt like. None could answer, yet all of them felt the same hunger, the hunger to set foot where their ancestors once stood, the hunger to prove that humans were no longer the weak exiles of old. Now they were warriors forged in fire. Now they were too strong to be stopped. In the darkness of space, the order came at last. Engines roared to life, ships aligned into battle formation. Earth was waiting, the homeworld was waiting, and humanity was ready to return. The fleet moved like shadows across the void. Every ship ran on silent mode, engines muffled, signals hidden. No light betrayed their presence. No beacon declared their approach. For the first time in centuries, human eyes looked upon their homeworld with weapons ready. And Earth, beautiful and broken, floated beneath alien banners. The alien empire that had ruled Earth for generations believed the system was secure. They had grown arrogant, certain that humanity was gone. Their fleets were scattered across other wars, other territories. Only a skeleton force remained near Earth, patrolling lazily, watching without care. Why should they fear a people they once crushed with ease? From the bridge of the flagship, Admiral Kalin studied the streams of data. Enemy ships drifted across Earth's orbit like flies around a feast. Their stations were poorly maintained, their crews bored and careless. But Kalin's eyes were not on the enemies alone. His gaze lingered on Earth. The oceans, the continents, the clouds. He whispered to himself, "We are so close, but we must not stumble." The plan was daring and dangerous. The human fleet would not strike immediately. Instead, they would slip deeper into the system, hiding within asteroid fields and planetary shadows. They would watch, they would measure, and they would wait for the perfect moment. Patience was humanity's weapon now. Tension rippled through the soldiers. Every warship hummed with restrained energy. Men and women sharpened their blades, checked their rifles, whispered prayers. Some had painted Earth's continents on their armor. Others carried soil kept safe for centuries in tiny vials. They were not just soldiers. They were children returning to a stolen home. A sudden alarm cut through the silence. One of the alien patrol ships drifted dangerously close to the hidden fleet. It scanned the region, its sensors brushing against the humans' cloaked hulls. On every human ship, hearts froze, hands tightened. If discovered now, the invasion would collapse before it even began. But the patrol moved on. The alien crew laughed, unaware that death had hovered only meters away. Relief swept through the fleet, but with it came anger. The aliens had grown too comfortable, too arrogant, and soon they would pay for it. Admiral Kalin summoned his officers. In the war room, holograms of Earth and its defenses flickered above the table. Alien stations glowed red. Human fleet positions glowed blue. Kalin spoke with steel in his voice. "They believe we are myths. They believe we are shadows. But tomorrow, they will know we are real. Tomorrow, they will know we are strong." Yet he did not order the attack. Not yet. Instead, he commanded the fleet to move closer. They drifted through the rings of Saturn, silent giants among ice and stone. They slid past Jupiter's storms, invisible to alien eyes. Every step brought them closer to Earth. Every moment added to the tension. On Earth itself, whispers stirred. In hidden corners and dark basements, small human resistance groups still lived. They passed stories of their ancestors, stories of freedom. When strange signals brushed their old radios, they froze. Could it be? Could humanity truly be returning? One old man, leader of a secret cell in New Berlin, whispered as he clutched his transmitter, "I knew they would come back, I knew." Tears rolled down his face as he realized he might live to see the dawn of liberation. Meanwhile, in orbit, alien commanders began to sense unease. Reports trickled in, patrols missing, strange shadows near asteroid belts, sensors failing. They dismissed it as malfunction, as nonsense. But deep inside, some felt the cold touch of fear of an enemy long thought destroyed. The humans waited, silent, patient, relentless. They knew the first strike had to be perfect. They knew the galaxy was watching. A single mistake could doom them all. But if they succeeded, if they struck with precision and fury, then Earth would tremble, the Empire would crumble, and the galaxy would learn a truth it had forgotten. Humanity was back, and humanity was unstoppable. The alien empire had ruled Earth for centuries without challenge. Their commanders believed humanity was scattered dust among the stars. But in the silence of the Sol system, something stirred, something too large, too precise, too dangerous to ignore. It began with a single patrol ship. Its crew picked up faint signals near the asteroid belt. At first they laughed, calling it echoes of space debris, but when their scanners sharpened, their laughter died. They saw something massive, cloaked in shadows. Before they could send a warning, their ship vanished in a blaze of light. The explosion rippled across space. Other alien patrols rushed to investigate. They found only wreckage, metal twisted, crew erased. No human transmission followed, no declaration, only silence, cold and merciless. On the flagship Resolute, Admiral Kalin gave no speech. He simply nodded to his officers. The test was complete. The aliens were vulnerable. Now the true campaign could begin. Across alien command posts in orbit, alarms screamed. Commanders scrambled to understand. Was it pirates? Was it a natural disaster? Was it the return of the humans? The last thought was mocked, dismissed, pushed aside, yet deep in their hearts, fissures, ear grew. Fear of the enemy they thought extinct. Another alien frigate moved to intercept the unknown shadows. Its captain boasted that he would drag the attackers into the light, but when his ship approached, sensors showed nothing, no heat, no movement, only empty space. Then suddenly, a human warship appeared from the void, colossal, black as night, armed with weapons the aliens had never seen. The frigate opened fire in panic. Its beams struck shields that did not even flicker. The human warship responded with one shot. The alien frigate disintegrated, erased in seconds. Panic spread like fire. Messages rushed to alien headquarters on Earth. Unknown enemy vessels were destroying patrols. No clear visuals, no survivors, only fragments of terror. Inside alien command stations, generals barked orders. Deploy more fleets, tighten orbital defenses, search every shadow. Yet with every move, another ship vanished. Human warships played with them like hunters circling prey. No transmissions, no words, only silent annihilation. On Earth below, resistance fighters intercepted fragments of alien panic. Their hidden radios crackled with fear-filled voices. For the first time in centuries, they heard their oppressors trembling. The old man in New Berlin whispered, "They are here, my brothers, they are here." Across secret networks, a signal passed. Hope had returned. Back in space, Admiral Kalin gathered his captains. A hollow map of Earth glowed before them. Red markers showed alien fleets. Blue markers showed human warships hidden in the dark. The Admiral's voice was calm, steel wrapped in fire. "We strike where they are blind. We strike where they are weak, one blow at a time until fear consumes them." The humans attacked with precision. A supply ship gone in seconds, an orbital station reduced to glowing fragments, alien defense towers silent before they could even charge. The galaxy had expected humans to return in desperation. Instead, they returned as predators, silent, merciless, unstoppable. Alien leaders began to argue among themselves. Some said it was only a few rogue ships. Others whispered that it was the human armada. One commander shouted in despair, "If this is humanity, then we are already too late." But the worst was yet to come. From the depths of shadow, humanity prepared to reveal their true strength, for until now they had only shown a fraction, and when the full might of their fleet came into view, the galaxy would know fear unlike any before. Earth's orbit had always been a fortress under alien control. Dozens of stations circled the planet. Fleets drifted in constant patrol. Towers bristled with weapons that kept humanity away for centuries. But tonight the sky above Earth was no longer safe for its masters. The first explosions lit up the darkness. A human warship decloaked near the largest orbital platform. The aliens scrambled to respond, unleashing beams of energy, but the human vessel absorbed the fire and answered with a single strike. The platform shattered like glass, raining debris across the heavens. Alarms shrieked across every alien base. Fleets spun into formation. Officers shouted orders. For the first time in living memory, they were not hunting rebels. They were fighting for survival. Dozens of alien destroyers surged forward, weapons blazing, but the humans had been waiting for this. From the shadow of the asteroid belt, the fleet revealed itself. Warships bigger than anything the galaxy had seen in centuries roared into motion. Their hulls gleamed black and silver, engines burning like stars. They came not as refugees, but as conquerors. Every alien eye widened with horror as the scale of humanity's return was finally seen. The clash shook the heavens. Alien cannons spat fire. Human shields flared. But for every volley the aliens fired, the humans answered with devastation. Entire formations vanished under storms of railguns, plasma lances, and weapons the galaxy had no name for. An alien cruiser tried to ram a human destroyer, desperate to win glory. The destroyer split it apart with precision fire before the impact could land. On the surface of Earth, people looked up. The night sky glowed with fire, streaks of burning wreckage falling like meteors. Whispers spread in the cities. Humanity had returned. Children pointed at the stars. Resistance fighters clenched their fists. For the first time in generations, hope burned as brightly as the battle above. Inside alien high command, panic turned to chaos. Generals argued, shouting over failing communications. Some demanded reinforcements, others cried for retreat. But reinforcements were too far, and retreat meant surrendering Earth. They had believed humans were weak. Now they saw the truth. Humans were unstoppable. Admiral Kalin stood at the center of the Resolute's bridge. His voice was steady even as space burned with war. Target their command ships, break their chain, let them drown in their own fear. His captains obeyed without hesitation. One by one, alien flagships erupted in fire, leaders dying before they could issue orders. The battle raged for hours, but the outcome was never in doubt. For every human ship damaged, 5 alien ships fell. For every alien weapon fired, a stronger human counterstrike answered, and slowly, inevitably, the alien lines collapsed. Their fleets broke apart, retreating in fragments. Their mighty orbital wall was reduced to drifting wreckage, but victory came at a cost. Several human ships lay burning, their crews sacrificing everything for the homeworld. The fleet pressed on, unwilling to let their sacrifice be in vain. Every soldier knew the truth. This was only the beginning. The battle for orbit had been won, but Earth itself still waited below, and the aliens would not surrender their prize without a final desperate fight. As the last alien station cracked apart, silence returned to the stars. Only the glow of Earth remained, shining beneath the ruins of its masters. Admiral Kalin whispered the words every human had longed to hear. The skies are ours again. The skies above Earth burned with wreckage. Alien fleets that once ruled with arrogance now drifted as shattered fragments. But even as humanity claimed the stars, the true battle waited below. Earth's surface was still chained by alien cities, alien rulers, alien soldiers. Admiral Kalin stood at the command deck of the Resolute, his gaze fixed on the blue planet glowing beneath the clouds. It was beautiful, untouched in its spirit, yet scarred by centuries of occupation. He knew the war was not complete, not until humans once again walked freely upon their soil. A single order left his lips. Send the signal. Across the fleet, transmitters roared to life, not messages of conquest, not words of vengeance, but a simple broadcast that carried across every city and colony. The words echoed in dozens of languages, filling every radio, every device. We are home. Humanity has returned. Rise. On Earth, the effect was like lightning striking dry ground. In New Berlin, old resistance fighters dropped their tools and embraced each other, tears streaming down their faces. In the flooded ruins of old Shanghai, hidden speakers crackled with the voice of humanity's return. In the deserts of Africa, where humans were forced into labor camps, chains were thrown aside as the cry spread like fire. Children who had never seen the stars without alien banners looked upward with wonder, and for the first time in their lives they felt pride instead of fear. The aliens laughed at first, dismissing the message as propaganda. But then uprisings erupted in the streets, shouts of freedom echoed through the markets. Secret human flags long hidden were raised in the open, on the rooftops of old cities. Banners stitched in secret workshops fluttered against alien winds. The same symbol appeared again and again, a single ancient flag of Earth, worn but unbroken. The aliens saw it and trembled, for they understood its meaning. Humanity had not forgotten, and humanity was not broken. Alien commanders scrambled, they ordered crackdowns, they unleashed drones, they fired on civilians. But the resistance had been waiting for this day. Hidden weapons, smuggled over generations, now came alive. Streets turned into battlegrounds, and every building echoed with the chants of rebellion. The aliens had ruled through fear, but fear was no longer theirs to command. In orbit, the human fleet watched as flames of rebellion lit Earth's surface. Admiral Kalin knew the uprising would cost lives, but he also knew it was the proof humanity had been waiting for. The people of Earth had not surrendered their spirit. They had only been waiting for the spark. The aliens tried to silence the transmissions. They jammed signals, they destroyed towers, but humanity answered with defiance. Every destroyed signal was replaced by 10 more. Every silenced voice gave birth to 100 louder cries. The message could not be stopped. The truth could not be buried. Humanity had come home, and they were too strong to be stopped. The resistance surged forward. In New Berlin, fighters stormed alien barracks, seizing weapons. In Old Tokyo, rebels cut power grids, plunging alien districts into chaos. In the jungles of South America, humans who had lived hidden for centuries emerged with fire and steel. Everywhere the flag was raised, tattered, handmade, glowing on stolen screens, yet it carried the same message: this world belongs to us. Admiral Kalen clenched his fist as he watched the images. For the first time in centuries, Earth was no longer silent. It was alive with the roar of its people, and though the war was far from over, though the aliens still held cities, armies, and weapons, Kale, and new victory had already begun. Above Earth, the fleet prepared for the final descent. Soldiers stood ready in dropships, eyes burning with determination. They would not land as exiles. They would land as liberators, and when their boots touched Earth's soil again, the galaxy would remember this day forever. The flag had returned, the people had risen, and the world itself trembled with the sound of humanity's awakening. The uprisings across Earth spread like wildfire. Cities once silent now roared with human defiance. Alien troops marched in fury, firing on civilians, crushing resistance cells. But for every rebel that fell, 10 more rose. The empire was drowning in chaos, and above the planet, the true storm was about to break. The human fleet had revealed its strength, but not its greatest weapon. At the heart of the armada waited the Colossus, a warship so vast it blotted out stars when it moved, forged in exile, armed with weapons no alien had ever seen. It was not just a ship, it was a symbol, the embodiment of all the pain, loss, and fury of a people cast from their home. Admiral Kalen stood on the command bridge. His officers watched him in silence, awaiting his word. The battle had already shattered alien fleets, but Earth itself was still caged by their command hub, a massive orbital citadel that controlled ground forces, supply lines, and every city below. As long as it stood, the war was not won. Kalen's eyes burned with fire as he gave the order. Unleash the Colossus! Engines thundered and the great warship moved. Alien commanders stared in disbelief as the giant emerged from the shadows. Its guns alone were larger than entire frigates. Its armor shimmered with energy fields no alien weapon could pierce. And when its first broadside fired, the stars themselves seemed to scream. The alien citadel shook under the blast. Entire sections ripped apart, fire spreading through its core. Desperate alien fleets hurled themselves against the Colossus. Dozens of ships swarmed it, firing everything they had. But their weapons splashed harmlessly against its shields. One by one, the swarming ships disintegrated, erased by the Titan's wrath. On Earth, people watched as fire streaked across the skies. Every blast from the Colossus lit the heavens. Resistance fighters cheered through their tears. The symbol of humanity's power burned above them, and they knew this was the final push. Yet victory demanded sacrifice. Several human ships broke formation, throwing themselves into enemy fire to protect the Colossus. Thousands gave their lives in those moments. The armada pressed forward, refusing to falter. They had not come this far to retreat. Every soldier whispered the same vow, Earth or nothing. The alien citadel fired its superweapon in desperation. A massive beam cut across the void, striking the Colossus. The shields flickered, the hull groaned. For a heartbeat, hope trembled. But the great ship endured. Its engines roared back to life. Its guns answered with fury. And with a final devastating salvo, the citadel was torn apart. Explosions consumed it, flames stretching across orbit. The command hub was gone, the Empire's grip shattered. On Earth, alien armies received no orders, no supply, no coordination. Resistance forces surged, overwhelming them in the streets. Entire cities rose in rebellion, their voices echoing across the world. The invaders were no longer rulers, they were prey, and humanity hunted them without mercy. From the bridge of the Resolute, Admiral Kalen watched the citadel burn. His voice was steady, but his heart thundered. The skies are free, the ground will follow, finish it. Dropships roared into Earth's atmosphere. Tens of thousands of human soldiers descended, their armor gleamed, their weapons ready, their hearts unshaken. They would not land as beggars, they would land as liberators, and when their boots touched the soil, humanity's exile would truly end. The final push had begun. The aliens had lost the skies, they were losing the cities, and soon they would lose Earth itself. The skies of Earth burned with fire. Alien fleets were gone, their citadel shattered, their armies scattered, but the war was not finished. The ground still shook with battles, and the streets still ran with blood. Drop ships tore through the clouds, columns of fire trailed behind them as they pierced the atmosphere. Inside, human soldiers sat in silence, hearts pounding. For centuries they had dreamed of this moment. Now it was real. Boots about to touch the soil of their home. They landed in ruined fields, in shattered cities, in deserts scorched by alien machines. And everywhere they landed, the people rose to greet them. Civilians threw down chains. Resistance fighters saluted with tears. Children reached out to touch the armor of their liberators. For the first time in their lives, they were free. The aliens fought desperately. Columns of soldiers marched. Drones swarmed. Tanks thundered. But without command, without control, they were broken. Human forces struck with precision, moving like a tide of vengeance. Every block, every street, every stronghold was taken one by one, and with every victory, the human flag rose higher. In New Berlin, the old man who had waited his whole life saw soldiers arrive. He stumbled forward, clutching the faded flag he had hidden for decades. A young soldier took it from his trembling hands, and together they raised it over the city. The people roared, voices shaking the heavens. The flag of Earth had returned. Across the planet, the same scene unfolded. In Tokyo, in Cairo, in Rio, in New York. Everywhere, the flag was lifted. Everywhere, voices cried out, "We are free, we are home." Admiral Kalin watched from the bridge of the Resolute. His fleet still hung above Earth, silent guardians of the reborn world. He saw the signals of victory spread across the surface, each city lighting up with human banners, each alien strong. Hold falling, and for the first time in his life the Admiral smiled, not as a commander, but as a son of Earth. But victory had not come without cost. Thousands of human soldiers lay silent on alien ground. Ships burned in orbit, names etched forever into memory. The price of homecoming was heavy, yet every survivor knew it was worth every sacrifice. As dawn broke across the continents, humanity gathered. Civilians stood beside soldiers, rebels beside refugees. They looked up at the sky, where human ships glittered among the stars, and they whispered the same truth. The exile has ended, we are home. In the heart of the old capital, the flag was raised one final time, not hidden, not secret, not in fear, but high, proud, unshaken. Its colors danced against the wind, telling the galaxy a single message. Humanity had returned, and they were too strong to be stopped. The galaxy watched in silence. Other empires trembled, rulers whispered in fear, for if humans could reclaim their lost world, if they could defy centuries of oppression, what else could they do? What worlds would they take next? What empires would they break? But for humanity there was only one truth. The soil beneath their feet was theirs again. The oceans, the skies, the cities, the mountains, all theirs again. And as the people stood together under one flag, one planet, one home, they knew this was not the end of their story. It was only the beginning. Humanity was home at last, and the stars themselves would never forget it.